After the construction of Kincardine Road and Croft-Nappock in Crieff in the 1930s, the red roof buildings of Alligan Crescent and Alligan Road were constructed in the 1940s using labour from the prisoners of war stationed at the Cultibragan camp at Comrie. The flats, the raised buildings to the rear were raised somewhere in the late 1960s to the early 1970s, and further back in the 1970s and 1980s much of Hollybush was developed. But where the red roofs are of Alligan, before the 1940s, this area was marshland, and flowing through the marshland was the Alligan Burn, which started its course deep down inside the knock of Crieff, behind Crieff Hydro, and it seeped its way through, and below the Crieff Hydro there's lots of marshy ground, particularly near to the churches of what was once the North Church, St Andrew's Church, and the St Michael's Church, St Michael's Parish Church, now closed. And the area of Nellfield was another fairly boggy place, which I recall even in the 1970s, before the new houses were put in, and the land drained, of course. But at a time being brought up in Alligan Road, when marching up past the old GPO station where all the telecommunications took place, still do, all the postal vans and GPO vans were all kept in a parking bay behind the telecommunications place, now BT, British Telecom, or British Telecom, now BT. Alligan Burn would show its face. Even as I was a child, the water would seep through the tarmac, and for people like myself, I can fairly well follow the course of the Alligan Burn. I'll pick up with that later videos when I go to explore that a bit further. For the time being though, we are looking at the red roof houses, and as I say, this has all been built upon raised ground. They dug a large section between where the flats are at Moneyfield and the red roof houses of Alligan Crescent. There's a great big ravine where all the earth was taken and put on top to build these houses. And I think I've mentioned previously that for these style of houses in Alligan Crescent and Alligan Road have some of the deepest cellars anywhere in the United Kingdom for the same type of housing. They're well-built houses, and Alligan Burn runs adjacent to Alligan and Croft-Nappock, and comes out at the east end of Kincardine Road at Maxton Road. I pick up the burn as it gets to the bone mill, but starting here, I'm marching out from Perthshire. The easiest access for the bone mill on this particular sunny, pleasant mid-May day in 2025. So join me as we look at the Alligan Burn. Well, good afternoon on Wednesday the 14th of May. Look at the hawthorn, Annie. Isn't it stupendous? I've been pretty busy in the garden of late, so I've decided to come out for a purpose here today. That purpose is not evident at the moment. I shall reveal all. As you know, this is the old railway line from Perthshire towards Robbie's Box. This section I didn't walk actually, I just filmed part of it, but I decided just to walk a little bit of it today. Problem is we've got potatoes in here, but I'm on the edge. Got to be conscientious when you're in the countryside for the farming community. But it's absolutely glorious, it really is. A lot of easterly har this morning. There's a whole pigeon been startled any. I told you this before, but the east coast can be plagued by har. It stretches quite a bit inland. But look at the broom, look at the hawthorn, and we've got more to enjoy along here. And, so I say I've got purpose in what I'm doing, and it may well involve me walking around the other side of the field. I spoke to somebody, I said I'm leaving my car, I've just put a notice on my window, so I'll be back shortly. But luckily she was from the farming community, and she said, I'll let my father-in-law know who it is, and she says, that's fine. So that's always better. I like to let people know what I'm doing. I said this before, of course. Look at these hawthorn trees. That's beautiful, it really is. That's such a blessing to see the hawthorn in all its glory. And of course these will form into little berries, and as the summer progresses now I have a bounty of hawthorn berries in the autumn for my cordials and stuff. But the broom is absolutely fantastic as well, isn't that really, really beautiful. I never got a shot of the gorse on the Smogland Road, but there's a segment of the Highland Road towards the Fulford where the gorse in the spring in bright yellow. You've never seen anything so brilliant in your life. Such a vibrant yellow, very colourful. But I'm really saddened they've started the construction of the houses along this way now. And it's historical land. It's where the old courts of Crieff were held way back in history, and justice was met out. Excuse me. Justice was met out by the Drummonds on anyone, and it was councils were held in the field by standing stones. Have all been removed as well. It's further along from the hen houses. I don't even know if that's an operational hen house anymore. I don't think it is. But the whole place is getting far too much development in the south of Crieff. It's become very congested, and that narrow Brock Road, it's taken away all my memories. That's my running route in the dark during the winter. I mean, pitch black, but there was never a car, and if a car came you just leaped onto the pavement, and you knew the road so well, you knew every single curbstone just about. But I can't really help it. It just saddens me. I'm sure there's other people in history who were equally affected by development in their lifetimes, but I've taken it really badly. I hate it. I hate that Aldi store and that B&M store and the new schools and all this all built. I hate it all because most of it's totally unnecessary. We've got a city half an hour away, 40 minutes in the bus. If you really want to go and buy things like we've always done over the last century in Crieff, if anything major you want to buy, you just zip through to Bertha or Stirling. But now we're, well, it's a local farm owner, he sold his farm and he sold all his land, didn't he? Made an absolute fortune as well. So I'm sure he's been cursed for what he's done. Not by me, but by the heavens for ruining a very picturesque part of the town. So, as we get to the end of the field, things have started to warm up as to what exactly I'm doing. But, I'm really scared that all this gets developed as well, because there's undoubtedly that might happen, but at the moment these parts are safeguarded, for now at least. But the way farming is at the moment, and because of the new tax system, the inheritance tax, farmers will be very eager just to take their land and sell it on and put their money in trust funds or something now, I don't know. It's terrible to think that a place like Scotland, after centuries of turning the land and getting it all fertile, that we could lose it all to concrete. Probably hear the peacocks from over there at Pittenteen. Sorry, at Pitahar. Pittenteen is the rail stop along here, which I'm trundling along from on the top of the old railway. You see how there's so much stone. That's the ballast and stuff from below the rails, and the farmers have now completely ploughed over into any evidence of where the rail track was, although there's still some here. There's a bird sitting on there, a hare. I see it, there it's in there, it's a hare. I've seen its ears cocked there. I'll leave it in peace. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up actually. Right, I suppose in a way all this development down here, it's a couple of baby hares. The development of the red roofs of Alligan, that was done in the 1940s. The white buildings in front have been done in the last 20 years. And it's a sprawling mess. And the whiter houses behind the red roof ones, that's lead and flour, and that was also done, well, that was earlier, that was in the 1930s. So there's a random piece of pottery. And it's a decent find. It is a decent find. I'll take that, Denny. And you can see the ballast there. I'm not sure what that's, a bowl of some sort. But it's pretty old, I think. So that's the rear of the old bone mill, the very ancient structure. You can see by the how it's been built, and then later on it's been bricked up much later, and asbestos roof or something added. But that's an old building, and that's where all the animal bones from the local abattoir were taken here and crushed up and used as fertiliser, and it is on the tracks of the railway line cut through here, you see, onwards to Robbie's box. I found another piece of pottery, and I'm not sure what that is at all, but again it's It's quite old. It looks like it's part of something with a handle, I don't know. But what I'm looking for is the Alligan Burn. So you'll see on the edge of this field that separates the one I've just come through. I'm in there now in the grounds of this old bone mill. But below me is there is a water course. And this water course comes all the way from the Knock. It drains down past the hydro, Crieff Hydro, down towards Nellfield area next to the churches. It then soaks down through Mitchell Street. It runs quite fast and furious under Pretoria Bar. It separates at Frank Thompson's, old Frank Thompson's ironmonger, underneath the graveyard, down through Potenzie, and the other part of it, one part goes down under the cemetery, the other part goes under Frank Thompson's and flows down Alligan Road, hence why it's called the Alligan Burn. It flows to the River Erne. Now there's no water visible today from here, but what I'm trying to do is get the other side and see if we can locate that water. I'm not sure if my camera was recording, I think it had the cover on top. So I'll repeat what I was saying. I'm just on the other side of the bone mill, and this trickle of water you see coming down here, which flows down past the mill, and I'll pick up again. You can see the irises and stuff, the wetness. This burn starts up in the Knock, way up in the Knock there. And it flows down past Crieff Hydro underground, and it soaks its way down towards Nellfield, next to the old parish church, St Michael's Church and St Andrew's Church, in St Michael's Church area. It then heads down towards Mitchell Street, on the west side of Mitchell Street, which used to be called Water Wynd for that reason. And in the gardens to the rear, between a place called Ghostie's Lane and Water Wynd, the Alligan Burn flows underground. It actually flows and can be heard and seen when the floorboards have been raised in the Pretoria Bar. I've seen it, and the water flows underneath the Pretoria Bar. It then diverts, and part of it goes under what's known as city prices and stuff, through underneath the graveyard, and flows down Potenzie. Another part branches off and goes under Frank Thompson, the old ironmonger, and then flows down to Alligan, hence Alligan Road. The Alligan district is the Alligan Burn, flows down. I've seen it on Alligan Road when there's been heavy rain, and then the pavements in the street have gone dry, but there's still a flow of water on the surface. It flows all the way down to the River Erne. I don't want to disturb the young cattle over here, but what we're doing is we're looking at the water course for this. It's quite amazing, but a lot of people don't know this. This is called the Alligan Burn, and this is why I'm doing it. And I want to trace it all the way back up to the Knock. That's the water. See it running there? It's not in fast flow, obviously. There's a poor pheasant had a untimely death. But this is amazing. It truly is. It's amazing. This water course goes all the way up. It will come out at, you can see it at Kincardine Road as it comes down through Alligan. But hello there everyone. So here we are. We'll get back over through this area, and we'll pick up on the very dry Alligan Burn and follow it round. So following this dike, and you can see the reeds down in here is the burn itself flowing south, and I would hate to think that this field was turned over to housing. It would be very sad indeed. But, we'll have to go down the side of the ploughed field. We can't get across because it's well, there's absolutely no way through the yard. I'm afraid. I've tried, but so there's no chance of getting through on the other side. There is a gate away along there, so that might be an option at another time, but we'll continue as we are this morning, or this afternoon, because it's quarter to 1, and we'll follow this down, and we'll get the twist of the burn as we reach it. You might not hear me now with that breeze. So you can see the line of that's the Alligan Burn flowing down here, and I've crossed over the fence here, and we've got well, a good view of where it all comes from. As I said already, it comes from the Knock. The Knock is the name of the hill which rises to the north of Crieff, 793 foot. And so we're now at this point here, Annie. And we'll try and locate its twist. It should run along the side of the fence, and it does, Annie. So there's the Alligan Burn continuing its flow. It's not flowing very much just now because obviously it's there's not been any rain for weeks and weeks, but this is the way it flows along, and I'll show you where it comes out, shall I? So there's a perfect view of what we've been up to across that field from Perthshire, for the land of the fairies. So there's another shot of the bone mill from the south. That down there is the refuge centre, recycle centre, but it used to be called the Cope. Everything was just bloody coped in a big heap, and the bin lorries of the old were, that was a terrible job, covered in ashes. And I mean, there was no wheelie bins, just metal bloody bins. The weight of these must have been awful. Chatty peelings and rotten veg, and as I say, ashes from people's coal fire, all weathers. I mean, I knew the men that worked on these lorries. They're bloody hats off to them. They're really, really hard work, because they didn't even have showers at that time, but now they've got showers and all that installed for the council employees, which is a bit of progress. So I'll show you, this is my route. When we had snow on my training pitch, where it says 20 mile an hour signs, which used to be 30 until a few weeks ago, damn waste of money. There's a straight 220 metres, but there's a straight 400 metres along here. I'll show you. I'll show you where it is. It's straight 400 metres. I used to run straight. One of the hardest things in training. Straight 400s. Run them up there, stop, walk against the clock, walk back down, and do it again 8 times. So that was it, a straight 400 metres with snow was on the fields, and couldn't train, so we had to come down onto the road, and running them constantly against a brisk westerly wind on a winter's day. It's bloody hard going, I tell you that. So anyway, we returned to the point I left at that side of the burn, and it twists and goes along here, so we'll follow for a short while. This road is much busier than it used to be, of course, so I have to be very careful with my camera and be conscious of motor cars coming in my direction from both ways. But look at the beautiful hawthorn, Annie. It's absolutely stunning, this lot. The Alligan Burn, all that way from the knock, eh? Tremendous. That's just another picture of the bone mill where I'm standing. It's now a joiner and builder contractor's yard. I don't know when the bone mill stopped operation, but it must have been some time ago. You can hear a very faint trickle from that water down here, and it follows the road, you see. So this is a very quaint area. It's Perthshire. You can see the bins are already left out for me just to spoil my photography, but this is the burn, you see, completely dried up, Annie. Completely dried up because there's been no rain. Although I did hear a trickle along at that end. Just a very faint trickle. But we are in business, so if you say to somebody, I've been following the Alligan Burn, that's not the Alligan Burn, but I can assure you it is. And just to say again, it comes all the way from the knock. So we'll go down and show you what the next stage is. So I've mentioned often this is one of my training routes. It was a Saturday afternoon job before I went on to the 10 miles. This is my return way for the 10 mile races. Not races, but training sessions. So what we've got here anyway, the car passes. Somebody's put a pipe in there, but that there is the Hulets Burn, and this is the Alligan Burn flowing here. So I'll show you the other side, Eddie. I have to delete some footage because it's showing flash. So this is the burn down on this side. Now I'll show you the confluence between the Alligan Burn and the Hulets Burn. The Hulets Burn comes off Callum's Hill and runs into a big source of swamp. There's now houses in there, they've drained it all. It's terrible. Knocked down the old farmsteadings and everything. And industrialised that whole area at Tomonnock, the Hollybush, just east of Crieff boundary. And they've stuck 30-mile-an-hour signs right out to the Highlandman Crossroads. It's just awful. But the Hulets Burn comes off Callum's Hill, runs down through Tomonnock and through Hollybush, and it comes down by the Bantry in Perthshire. Now we've just left Perthshire. It's come down this track here. As I spent a lot of time coming down here as a youngster, because it was within reach of the family home. So I used to wander down from the Bantry and come down here. I was always strictly told not to go down to the River Erne, but I always did, because I liked it. But I knew my way because not only was a family walks with the parents and stuff, but Granny would take us down this way as well. In point of fact, to show us the River Erne and show us how dangerous it was. So that was good. So the River Erne's actually over that way. We're not going to walk that far today, Andy. But it's wonderful to just understand that water courses have a purpose. And coming all the way down here to feed into the River Erne, I think it's wonderful. It's a very peaceful part of the world these days now, in this part that they extended the height of the pylons in 2012, 2011 was it? And it's an unsightly business right across Strathern. It really is. We really got the short straw on this Bewley Denny upgrade. This is why this is all it is, because they were bringing in big trucks and stuff to bring in the materials and the cables and the bloody big pylons. This is why it's all got this horrible stuff all. I never used to put this. In fact, the pathway used to run along the top there. I think we'll maybe just have a wee wander, Eddie. I think we'll have a cigarette first, actually. Let's have a quick memory. See, all this shite wasn't here. You should have taken all that away. There's no need for it to be there. But this is the old path. It was always fearful down this way because you always met a traveller as well. I'm not joking, but there's always a traveller hanging about down this way. And we're having a little snake through. Just to have a look at the burners that come through. That's all. You see the waters? You weren't paying attention, you think that was a stone, you bloody would sink right into that. That's quite deep, you know. A deep bog here, and it snakes its way around ever so slowly. It's rather stagnant now, that's what's wrong. It's not flowing the way it used to. Not really. Hello, old fellow. There's a little dog rose. Nice to see you, Annie. You don't remember me, Annie, but I remember you when you were a child coming down here. I was here, you know. I was a bit shorter, just like you, but I'm grown up tall nowadays. And next month I'll produce a lovely pink flower for you. Maybe even white. Yes, the dog rose spoke to me, and so we're going to have a cigarette. I'm dressed like a tramp today. I'm not joking you. I'm not dressed like a summer outing at all. So I've had to delay it a wee bit, but I thought, well, I'm down this neck of the wood, I may as well take you out to the part where the Hullet Burn and the Hullet's Burn and the Alligan Burn combined flow into the River Erne. Might be an opportunity to also see the River Erne very low at the moment. I was just thinking there, I've delayered, I had to take my top off. The first time I got to Malta in December, was that 2017 I think it was, I'm sure it was, and yes, I remember leaving the cold and damp in December in Scotland, and it was like this in Malta. It was 24 degrees in Malta in December. But the beauty was, it was always about 15 to 17 degrees at night time. Sitting out in the hotel veranda, sipping on lager. So here we are, it's reappeared. You can see it just slowly feeding through. And it will take torrential rain to get that all pushed through and cleared up. But at the moment it's not very appealing for a swim in that lot. So we're heading this way, Annie. There we go, it's a bit more clearer now. This is the same burn that we've been following for quite a while. Yeah, I think about it. I was only about 7-year-old when I used to wander down here. You see the old brig there? We'll avoid that brig today. There's a wooden platform we'll cross instead. That way I'll take you all the way out to the Red Brig, which crosses the River Erne, the old railway line, heading for Mouthal and Gleneagles. You see? So here's my little wooden plank, but somebody's replaced it with a metal thing. But that's it there. You can see the direction of flow. Can you see it in the camera? And it heads over to the River Arn, which is just down in there. This is alright to cross, isn't it? So that's what goes through. That's the combined efforts of the Hullet Burn and Alligan Burn, making the final entrance into the River Arn down through that gap. So here we are at the River Arn, Andy. This damn Himalayan balsam. Can't get rid of it now. Just find a water course. That's where I was sitting having my cigarette. So you can see it. It does have a long twisted journey. The River Arn flowing southwards there, Annie. That's the point down there. That's it down there, Annie. The entrance point. So hopefully that's been interesting for you. What I'll do in this segment is I'll decide whether to put this one up first and then do it from a reverse show, or put this one up last. I'll make a decision on that. Okay, let's make tracks back to the car, Andy. Get home and get a nice cup of tea and a biscuit or something, sandwich. Here's a wee picture of the Hullet Burn just as it comes down through past Pitt and Sheen and then crosses and down, and the Alligan Burn on the other side of the field comes and joins us down there, and then the flow down to the River Arn. So that's that, wonderful, absolutely brilliant, Annie. I'm just back to the car and look. Oh, well done, Andrew. Isn't that amazing?